Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DOScider, our ranking of DOS games. Good to see you, Grimmeth. Good to see you, Comet. Welcome, welcome. We are about 350-ish. We've been about 350-ish for a while. I think we're a little over 350. We are a little under, actually. So we've got about 350 games that we have ranked over the last 3 years, I think. It's been a while. Good to see you, Ghidorah. For those that don't know, this is where we decide where to put DOS games on our ranking of what I like personally. S. Kennedy, welcome, welcome. Subs and patrons can jump into the Discord. It's free for anybody, but there is a special channel just for you where you can do a request a month for a new game, and I will play it and rank it on the list. You can find all the information at DOScider.neocities.org. And with that, let's go into the top and bottom. It's the streamer's personal record book. I have a Rolodex here that has all the DOS games, so if I ever need to go back, I can get them. And I don't have chips to eat on stream, not at all. You don't have the permissions to post in Sub Club. Okay, well, I can give them to you if you're having trouble. I don't know why it would do that. It should connect automatically, but Discord and Twitch are finicky. I will fix that for you. I think the Twitch integration broke. I mean, I'll take a look at it and see. In any case, I'll go through the top and bottom 10 right now for our list, as I always like to do, just to give an idea as to how things are going on the list, give an idea of where we're at. So I didn't mean to derail things, that's okay. It's good information to know. I'll probably have to do that after stream though, because if it's Twitch integration, you know, I need to... It might be better if I fix the whole thing rather than keep dealing with it, although it might be a broader problem, who knows? So we'll see. Alright, so our top 10 and bottom 10, we have Star Control 2, Full Throttle, Day of the Tentacle, Doom, Heroes of Might and Magic 2, XCOM, UFO Defense, NetHack, MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries, Lands of Lore, The Throne of Chaos, and Maniac Mansion at number 10. And then, let's not do it manually like that. That's not correct. We'll go down to the bottom, and we have our bottom 10 with Industrial Killers, Jim Henson's Muppet Adventure number 1, Chaos at the Carnival, Mr. Pibb, the 3D interactive game, Snapperazzi, The Fortress of Dr. Radiaki, The Flintstones, The Jetsons, First Person Pinball, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Police Quest 4 Open Season. Gotta give it the space that it needs for some in-between examples. And this week, we have a sub-request again. This one from Ghidorah. And I won't lie, these ones are always a little weird and intimidating. I'll get on into it and we'll see what we see. We've done quite a few of them in the past. But it's a tough one because they're hard to rank. Because it is Linley Hazel's DungeonCrawl from 1997. And you might go, well, why on earth would that be intimidating or a problem? Well, it's a real pain in the ass to actually review these because they're not these are less games than they are living documents. If that makes sense. These tend to be updated over like 20, 30 years. And picking out like the exact one that actually is there and why I've ranked it and stuff is always a bit of a pain. I did see Battle Eras, yeah. What a game. Truly a wonder to behold. But yeah, these are tough because this one does have a bit of a break in that it becomes DungeonCrawl Stone Soup after this. But it's do we have the 2002 version? Do we have the 1997 version? If we ignore how it became DCSS. Yeah, but like, do you disentangle that? All of that is a really, really tough ask. Like, it's not an easy thing to silo this off for a specific slice of where it is. Hey, YouTube people. Good to see you, Sonomi. But yeah, it's a tough one. Like, just deciding how to slice these out is just very hard. Like, do you... More than even most other of the games, like, do you look at their effect, or do you look at what the game is as it is on DOS? These ones you can't even go back. Like, it's not like I could go back to DungeonCrawl 1.0. This is just beta 26, right? And then do you go, okay, well, DungeonCrawl Stone Soup is different, I guess? And I mean it is, but... It's a lot. And DungeonCrawl Soup, sorry, it's not DungeonCrawl Stone Soup. This is just DungeonCrawl. DungeonCrawl is an extra lot because there are about 660 combinations of class and species. It's been a minute. How's Berta? We've been better, but it's good to see you. I'm doing all right. Alberta in Canada has been a time. So let's just do a random one. The Sludge Elf. The cool thing about DungeonCrawl is a lot of the like really weird and interesting classes and species that you can get. Like, you don't often see venom mages and sludge elves. Why don't we do a sludge elf venom mage just because of that? Another thing that DungeonCrawl does a lot of is it cares a bunch about your religion. And that was always a thing in NetHack also. But I really like with DungeonCrawl you have to have like very specific conduct for your deities. There's a lot of deities also. And some of the deities are very wild. We'll talk about that when we get to them, maybe. If we don't get to it, well, we'll talk about Zom then. But it has a really different way of leveling up a lot of things. It has a lot of very different settings. There's a lot of biomes in DungeonCrawl. It's like Angband and Moria, they're interesting. They have some good things going on with them, but they also run into, like, this is a lot later than those. So it's learning from a lot of that stuff. But those ones have like a very set look and everything about a lot of it, and like kind of set enemies. It takes a long time to get to new biomes and things like that, whereas this is real weird with the biomes and characters and stuff that it goes through, which is nice. Like, it's just it's a much more unique experience, which I think is very cool. So X is to look around. So we've got a giant cockroach and a rat, a knife, a red potion, gold coins, scroll. All right. I think we're in trouble already. And we're dead. Like, I did not like being caught between both a cockroach and a rat immediately, but that is certainly the roguelike experience. And of course, like all of the old roguelikes, when you die, and on DOS, it just exits you right out of the game entirely. There you go. Now we're gonna go back to the Sludge Elf Venom Mage. We should also be able to have some spells. M is to memorize spells. Okay, so let's memorize Sting. Okay, we do already know the spell. We can also cast it with... Okay, capital Z. I don't think there's actually a point in selling things in this game. I don't think there is a way to do it. So I think we can safely ignore the club. Wow. More points this time. Okay, as it turns out, don't fuck with snakes. Welcome, Sludge Elf. What is your name today? It's Jeff again. Jeff here, fucking things up. Just want to see how to disarm a trap if we can. And obviously we'd play this normally without any music, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of need some, so I'm just going to keep the DOS music on. These things are going to be hard enough already to play them. Doing it with no music at all is just a little tough. I would normally be playing on like a boombox back in the day. I don't seem to see a way to disarm a trap. Well, that's alright. Bunch of stones. That looks like another trap? No, spear. Oh, no, okay. Neat! There was a second one. We're gonna search around. And we hear a shout. We have a goblin and a bat. So we're gonna back up. And we're gonna keep backing up because it's poisoned. Bats are really awful. Come on. Hey! Alright, we killed 3 things this time. Look at that. That's almost as many times as my character has died. I've been playing a lot of Caves of Cud, so my automatic thought was to use its ability, like its shortcuts for resting and things, and I realized that's going to be wrong. We've got rest 1 turn. Where is rest multiple turns? I don't seem to see one, actually. Shift in 5 is rest 100 turns? That does not seem to be correct. Yeah, that didn't work. Shift and 5 on keypad. Yeah, that's definitely not doing anything. Alright, we got another goblin. Well, I hate this bat. I hate it a lot. Why don't we just go ahead and drink our potion and see what happens? We'd berserk, and then immediately die to the bat. This is definitely DungeonCrawl. Let's go with... a Troll Berserker. We're Jeef, the Troll Berserker. Trog says, kill them all. So Trog is, if you're a Berserker, you're already going to be indebted to Trog. And you're not able to cast any spells at all. I'm not sure where we can see all of our information for, like, prayer things. Because Trog will like it when we do a lot of killing. Describe religion. There we go. Kill in Trog's name and sacrifice the dead. And we should have a special power button. List abilities and mutations is on A. Which you might be like, ooh, mutations? Or at least I am. I know about them. There's some really interesting ones in this game. Kind of what makes this game different than a lot of the ones before it is all of the weird, like, mutations, strange classes, like, weird species combinations and stuff. There's really interesting things you can do. It's literally the first thing, it's just A. Which is amazing. So we have a robe and we have a ring mail. So we probably want to wear... Okay, so F is ring mail, D is dagger. Ooh. Trolls have some prerequisites there. Animal skin is B, okay. Yeah, so it's gonna be the same either way. Just too bad we can't wear the ring mail. And then let's wield the dagger. Uncursed! Always love to see an uncursed dagger. Get this goblin to come over. Come on, cockroach. Go down. There we go. A brown potion and something else underneath. And a robe. Okay. We're not going to tempt fate too much and wear a second robe, because you can always get another curse. I'm hoping we can get a little bit more favor with Trog, or maybe some other deities. You can choose to break pacts with deities in the game, which is really neat. The really fun thing about DungeonCrawl, though, is that system, I think. At least for me, to start. There's also, like, all the mutations are really, really cool, too, honestly, also. But the religion system is what really hooked me the first time. And that's because you can get... Like, there's conduct stuff in older roguelikes too, like NetHack has it also. But it's very different than what this is. This one you get a lot of extra powers and things based on the deity that you worship, and they have really different and strict requirements for things. Like, Trog is really straightforward. He wants you to kill things, he wants you to not use magic, that's fine. But then there's ones like Zom. Also, we went from giant cockroaches to rat, and then vampire, which, But I wanted to talk about Zom in specific. Yeah, there we go. One hit, dead. That is mean as hell. That's really, really mean. A cursed robe. Good thing I didn't try. Remember how I said I shouldn't try my luck the second time? Look at the big brain on me. Also, jeez. Vampire right away. Game does not have a lot of chill. We're gonna be the Troll Berserker again. It's generally an easier start. Here's the snake. Got him. B is the dagger. Got you. Uncursed. Excellent. Sorry, I keep on mentioning. So Zom is the god of chaos, and that means that it just wants you to do random shit. So it wants you to like step into teleporter traps on purpose. Just make the game fun. Zom is capricious. Oh, speaking of teleportation traps, kind of amazing that we have one already. Where did this goblin go? Oh, there we are. They have a club. I feel like a club is more what we want to be doing. Nope. Did I? Also uncursed. Excellent. Yeah, the last position for enemies is really smartly done. Kind of showing it a little grayed out. Let's get some dungeon grapes. Who doesn't love a good floor grape? Okay, kobold seems a little more doable rather than vampire like last time. Oh no. Bad again, huh? So they have a really fast move speed, which means they can go in and hit you, and then still leave you at range. Yeah, I will say I'm not adding this one to our rogue challenge. Beat every roguelike, because we already have DungeonCrawl still in suit. Which is just the same game, but updated. Probably should have done the same for Moria and Angband, but we'll discuss that. I think that one I've already accepted. Oh man, a Snozcumber. Like, this does a really good job of kind of showing vision zones in really interesting ways. We have a lot of scrolls. We're already wearing an animal skin, so I don't think we need that. A glowing knife. Remember, kids, if you see something glowing on the ground, make sure you pick it up and stick it in your desk drawer for a couple years. Just to see if there's anything fun that happens. Oh, I just realized I need to list it. Dwarven Hammer, T. Uncursed Hammer! I will say I don't love, like, we don't get to see the list here. Oh no, okay. If you hit star, it does still show you the list. Like, asterisk will actually get you the list. So that's good. Because having to go back into the list every time just to figure out if you've got the right thing is not amazing. Oh, come on. I'm like, yeah, there's gotta be a secret door here, right? I don't have to walk all the way back. Some good contemporary music for this game, which, weird to think about. PC gaming was in an interesting spot for a long time, where there's DungeonCrawl in '97, this, and then you've got things like Command & Conquer around the same time. Which one would you like? We've got both. Almost one-shotting things already. Pretty big difference between that and the caster classes. Some banded mail.
Let's get back to equal justice. Increase fear and suspicion. Repeat.
I'm going to guess
Let's get back to equal justice.
that we can't wear banded mail.
Let's get back to equal justice. Increase fear and suspicion. Repeat. Increase.
Yeah.
Increase fear and suspicion.
We do have a helmet though. Oh, and we can't wear the helmets either. I will say, so doing this to get the whole list, I didn't actually realize that we wouldn't be able to hit anything from here, like... Oh no, okay, I can. But if we hit anything else, it kind of exits out. It was a weird system there for a second. One of the things I definitely miss from actual DungeonCrawl Stone Soup, the later versions of this, is DungeonCrawl Stone Soup added in the auto explore that this does not have. So what are you? An ooze. Okay. You think you can run away? It's funny to see a ooze want to run away. Yeah, figured that we wouldn't be able to wear that either. Yeah, I think reviewing this and looking at it is going to be a lot of kind of talking about the things that I know about the game, because I've looked at it quite a bit, and I know a bit about how DungeonCrawl works and the things that makes it unique. Actually getting to the point where I can show you all of that, not going to be as easy. Got our maces and flails one up. Ooh, do we want strength, intelligence, or dexterity? Well, we are berserker, so I'm gonna say that we probably just want to get stronger. Yeah, that's another reason why reviewing these games are interesting for a lot of the roguelikes. They're really, really long, they're complex, they're a very specific vibe, and they tend to be developed over decades. And on top of that, their length isn't even like a puzzle game or something. It's just... it's one of those things where I might not get further than the first 5 minutes in a roguelike for pretty much the whole thing. Part of the reason why we're doing a berserker, because berserkers are a little easier. Less likely to get murked instantly by a rat. But even getting a lot further in with a character like this, it's still going to be hard for us to, like, really delve into all of that, really interesting, unique stuff for this particular game. You know, the religion stuff, getting mutations. What do we want to eat? How about 16 grapes? What if we just went after, like, a bunch of grapes in a row? Like it was 2 a.m. and I just needed to have something out of the fridge. And that wasn't me, because I don't like grapes. This bat is being annoying. Let's try and chase it down. There we go. A choco. There we go. Who doesn't love a choco? What the fuck's a choco? Okay, kitty. You're trying to kick me out of my chair, but I'm not saying yes today. Ooh, poisoned. have a bunch more grapes. Two grapes left. And then a putrid snozzcumber. Thankfully, I'm assuming as a troll we get rid of poisons fairly naturally. Okay, this seems like a good idea. And time for us to use an ability. We do not want to renounce our religion. We should be able to berserk though, shouldn't we? Or is that a later thing? Because if we're... Oh no, there are no granted powers. Trog does not give berserkers the ability to berserk off the bat in original Dungeon Crawl. Okay. That's something that is in Stone Soup, but not in this version, I suppose. Glad we haven't fought, like, oh, I don't know, a vampire yet. So this is how they do stores in this. Is it go up? Yeah, there we go. Wand, cloaks, leather armor, gluggy black potion. Huh. None of those look particularly interesting for me. A bat and a newt. L for lizard, I assume. I'm really hoping that we can find some of the wild later stuff. To the Ecumenical Temple. Okay. So here's a fun one. Do we want a religion? If we renounce our religion, there are some problems. But that would be a fun thing to see, I suppose. Silver altar at Evalion. Fountain of clear blue water. Nemelex Zobe. Sifmuna. So yeah, all of these grant us different powers for pleasing them. Shining one is if you're good. We'll go bone altar. Love a good bone altar. Ooh, an altar of Zom. offer a prayer to Zog. Or to Zog, to Trog. I said Zog because I was thinking of Zom. Unfortunately, we have not yet... We have Believer as our title, but we haven't gotten any powers yet. Ogre versus Troll, huh? Two levels from just that. Oof. Oh, let's definitely do the giant club. P. An uncursed giant club. So Trog generally really likes orcs, so I'm not sure if that's a problem for us to kill so many of them here. There's an orcish mace and a flail. Okay, we could view item description. Let's look at our big old giant club if we can. Best used by the strong, damage rated 15, accuracy rating -5, base attack delay 160%. Flail. Can we haul corpses back to the altar to sacrifice in this one? We'll take a look. Accuracy rating is +3 though, and a better attack delay. Also want to look at T and L. Okay. 7 + 2. And 9 + 2. I think I like our giant club. It's slower than everything, but it deals a ton of damage. The accuracy on it sucks, but that's fine. We seem to just kill things in one hit. Okay, we have a worm corpse. And you know what? Let's see if we piss Trog off by sacrificing an orc. Being encumbered is not the best. Just a little over encumbrance is okay as a treat. Sacrifice them here. Because there's dissecting corpses, but I don't think that's the same. Give me 1 second. Yeah, because the idea is generally to go back and sacrifice them. Yeah, I don't think that's what we want to be doing. Surgitation tiles include special ability. Game, put on remove jewelry, yep. It might be just pray. No. There we go, okay. Yeah, you put it down and then you pray. This does have the very tedious task of if you want to get more and more piety with your deity, you need to drag the corpses back. I was thinking of, again, DCSS, where you don't have to do that anymore. Although that it becomes a skeleton after a while. So there's not much point in us going back anymore. Go send this to Trog. So we are having the problem of I am out of food. It's an issue. They streamlined a lot of things eventually in DungeonCrawl, where they got rid of things like hunger. Personally, I really like the way that DungeonCrawl does a bunch of things, though. Like, the extra religion abilities are really fun. When you get into mutations, you get some really wild stuff. It does have, like we said, all the problems of kind of having to drag all this type of stuff back. Halberd. We lose consciousness. It's not great starving. And we have starved to death. That is fast. Wow. Ooh, a +2 and +1 dagger of Holy Wrath. Certainly a better run through that time. As we learn a little bit of the game here and there. It's so hard with these ones, though, to do like a big long look at this. I would need to play it for a week to actually get anywhere with it. Why don't we once again try something weird? Let's do the Sludge Elf again. Except I'm gonna go with... Hoo boy. The Venom Mage was interesting. I liked the idea of that. We just tended to die really quickly. I'll try one more time. And then if we get to the Ecumenical Temple this time, we can actually start getting a new god to pray to. I did not expect the starvation kill to be that fast. I'm also a little worried because if I remember correctly, this should have hunger casting again. Which is... Oh no. There we go. As we cast, we actually use up our hunger meter. Sometimes you can get a little distance by taking corners. Does not seem like we are doing a good job of that. Let's... Oof. There, we got him ill. Perfect. So yeah, numlock being on or off is actually like your long walks also. So if you want to do like a walk for a long ways, you can turn numlock off. So we're just walking in straight lines that speed things up a bit. So it wasn't shift, it was a little different. So the commands are slightly wrong. We're really lucky that lizard decided to leave us alone. So I'm curious, is this like NetHack? You cannot eat a giant newt corpse. Dang. It is not NetHack. Dang. Unfortunate. Do you need to dissect the newt before eating it? That would actually make a lot of sense, yeah. It's to dissect a corpse. Yeah, so there's a few things that are kind of clunky with this. Having to carry corpses back to the altars is not exactly amazing. Let's do a mummy death knight. Sure. That sounds appropriately stupid. Ooh. Where do we draw our power from? Let's go with the god. All I can do is renounce my religion. This is... I blocked off that wall to just have a choke point, and then immediately something came from the other side. Not great. So yeah, if you don't like this loot, you won't like DungeonCrawl. But personally, I'm kind of fond of it. Alright, let's go with Mummy Death Knight again. And, yeah, I'll still do the hand axe here. Alright, so Red Liminal is worshipped by those who seek powers over death and the undead without having to learn to use necromancy. Followers can raise legions of servile undead and gain a number of other useful, if unpleasant, powers. Appreciates killing, prefers corpses to be put to use rather than sacrificed. So we don't need to actually sacrifice them, we just need to kill. Keep walking over the same dart trap over and over. Hey, Pyrus. Good to see you. Oh, you're gonna try the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition? Yeah, that game is no joke either. The hard versions of original, like, Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 are very rough. They're not nice. Kinda, I would suggest, I don't know for Baldur's Gate 1, but Baldur's Gate 2, get ready to abuse an awful lot of time stop if you can. Later on, wizard runs really tend to be you versus the enemy who can time stop first. And most often. Oh, thank God. It's a cockroach. Almost got me. So many items, so many things that could be cursed. Okay, it's some kind of snake? A giant mite. I feel like there's gotta be some way to disarm a trap that I just don't know. Jeez. DungeonCrawl is... I feel like it's even ruder than things like NetHack. Which is funny because DCSS, like modern DCSS, is kinder than almost any of the other ones that I've played. Like, it's definitely kinder than Angband, Moria, NetHack. Probably not Caves of Cud, but it's pretty nice. Here, let's be an Ogre Mage. A Crusader Transmuter. Transmuter is interesting, because I should be able to... You're not good enough to have a special ability, and I'm not religious. We can memorize 4 more spells, so let's go. The Book of Changes. So you can start doing things like turning into a spider. This is the cool thing about this game, is all the weird mutations that you can get. Some of the transfiguration or transmigration stuff is really, really strange. Very fun. You also only get chances to cast things if you miscast. And this is where the meanness of this game comes in. You will slowly get tainted with, like, magical energy, which is not the best. Yeah, if you don't know anything about Baldur's Gate, I mean, granted, I guess I don't really know a lot about Baldur's Gate either. I played 2 a fair bit, but not 1. But my understanding, like, knowing Baldur's Gate, you're gonna have a hard time doing a challenge run on it your very first time. Memorizing our spells. We should be able to look at it. Wait. Untrap, control, and direction. That's what I was missing. Fulsome distillation. It's definitely a little bit hard to find information about original DungeonCrawl because everything's moved to Stone Soup. Nobody plays DungeonCrawl anymore. Ah, okay. Huh. So we can actually... This is to distill... That's why it's necromancy. Oh, this is gonna be weird. Let's see if we can do a fulsome distillation. I won't say what it does. here, maybe? Yes. So you can distill a potion from a corpse. Which, as you can imagine, probably has some really interesting applications. So much of what I liked about DungeonCrawl is that kind of thing. There's some really weird things that you can do in such a way that, like, playing something like NetHack, it feels like Rogue. There's other things that happen in it, but it is very much a roguelike. It's kind of... There's some weirdness that you get into, but a lot of it, I don't know, it feels like it's maybe not as intentional with the weirdness that it's doing. Like, it's you finding out ways to... We're in trouble here. Yep. It's you finding ways to actually manipulate the game in a way. Some of it is certainly intended. But this one has just, like, just weird stuff. There's so many strange religion things you can do. You've got, like, chaos gods that you can worship that want you to just do as much random carnage to yourself and all your surroundings as possible. Like, purposely step into teleporter traps as often as you can. Drink that potion of confusion. Things like that. That I think is really, really neat. And very fun, and it adds to, like, some real what the hell am I even doing moments, which is what this game is all about. Like, these kinds of games for me, it's not necessarily about winning. Winning is great, and eventually that is the goal. But so much of the time, you want to just be able to go to somebody and be like, okay, so I made it to, like, the lava area, if you've ever been there, and then I had turned a vampire corpse into a blood spell, and I drank it, but when I drank it, it made me into, like, some kind of blood ooze, and then the lava melted me and I died? So, like, it's just weird shit like that where you're like, and I don't know why that happened, but it's kind of amazing. There we go. Yeah, so we want to rip these to pieces. Wow, there's something tasty in our inventory. There we go. So, like, the madness of these games just becomes... I feel like DungeonCrawl leans into that kind of... God, I hate to use this word in a way, but the emergent storytelling more than a lot of the early roguelikes. And that's because I guess it's an early roguelike from modern standards, but when you look at it, it's like, what? God, when did Rogue first come out? Because this is, or even Beneath Apple Manor, which is the earlier roguelike. Earlier than Rogue, there was Beneath Apple Manor. 1978. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at this being almost 20 years after you had roguelikes on the market. Which is wild to think. Like, this does not look like a game that's had 20 years of polish on it, right? Like, building up new ideas and stuff. But it is. Hello, lovely wife. No, he's been sleeping here, so I was about to do that. Yeah. I was just about to get up and start doing that, 'cause I'm like, we need to get her medicine at least. Let's rest a little bit. You smell something rotten. That's probably a thing that we actually want to eat. Yep. That's funny with the being a newt thing. Or being a ghoul thing. Looking at the newt, thinking that. Heck yeah, let's dismember that kobold corpse. Dagger, no, we want some kobold flesh, thank you. Oh, cat. Oh, buddy. You're laying on my mouse. In a very funny way. Okay, there we go. It's okay, buddy. Alright, it's just about time to go and feed you. Especially now that you're getting up. Let's go down a level. See if we can't find another group of gods. Sorry, you're a carnivore? I'm wondering if we actually need to dissect corpses. As a ghoul? Boy, I have absolutely nothing in terms of items. Gecko got me. Alright. We're gonna take a quick break here. Go feed our kitties. Give them their medicine. And I'll be right back. We'll probably get into ranking. DungeonCrawl. Linley Hensel's DungeonCrawl, specifically. Alright, and I'll be right back. Thanks for being here so far. If you like the stream, those follows mean a lot. I'll see you in a moment. Hey, welcome back everybody. Goodbye, Jeff. Sorry, Jeef, you are dead. But let's get right into ranking this one. Because I think we've seen enough Dungeon Crawl. Like, we could see more Dungeon Crawl, but it might take forever to actually see more of it. We get an idea of some of the unique systems and stuff there, and I don't think that we can go much further into it without spending an inordinate amount of time. Like, it might take 2 hours to get a lot further in, like 2 more hours. It might take us like a week to get a lot further in, because that's the nature of roguelikes, right? Always the intimidating thing about trying to look at these ones, because you can end up with some bad rolls and find a vampire on floor 1 that just eats you alive. Oh god. This is added by chat, and I think that we need to move on from Dadoodoo or whatever from Cosmos Cosmic Adventure. That one's... I don't mind it sometimes. That is a lot for right now while we're ranking this. Yeah, I think that Dungeon Crawl adds a lot of really, really cool things to roguelikes, and it leans really hard into the best parts of what they are. Like I said, kind of that, oh my god, I made it down to like my first shop and then a mimic ate me. Or like, oh, I found a ring on the ground and it made me have a giant mouth in my stomach, which is a thing that I know Dungeon Crawl can do. And then I had to be a carnivore and eat corpses out of my stomach mouth. Like, weird shit like that. Just discovering all those things and finding out about that and all the weird ways that you can die from it. And like I said, I really do think Dungeon Crawl does a good job of that. Sorry, I'm having a moment because of this. Hi. What? And I really like the direction. Oh, buddy, don't step on the keyboard. I like the direction that Dungeon Crawl goes more than most of the other roguelikes, like I said. Oh god, he wrecked a whole bunch of this. Oh, cat. Alright, there we go. You're just fun. I just think it does an awesome job of a bunch of things. I like it more than Betrayal at Krondor, I think. Just the number of ways that you can play in Dungeon Crawl specifically. Like, when you get into, like, Rogue, you kind of have, like, okay, well, I can cast spells, or I might, like, do some ranged combat. Oh, you know, I can be a fighter, different things like that. And there's some, like, you know, I might be able to do a thief. You can do some cool things. I'm not saying there's not some really neat things you can do in some of those, or like Moria or Angband. But in Dungeon Crawl, it's like, okay, I learned how to distill potions from corpses so that I could drink them and transmute myself into weird stuff. Or I was a flesh-eating ghoul for the whole run and had to sustain myself by eating other rotten corpses. I joined up with Zom, the god of chaos, and teleported myself randomly throughout the dungeon. And Zom got pleased with me, and so he gave me, like, infinite life almost. Like, there's so many weird things like that that you can do as a build that just Rogue couldn't have imagined. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's... And then you still have like, oh, I just want to be a berserker, I just want to be a fighter, I just want to be... But you have all these extra layers of just wild stuff you can do. And I love that about DungeonCrawl in specific. It does such a good job of it. And I'm really excited to go back to DungeonCrawl. The Stone Soup variety. In our other series that we're doing right now, which is Rogueuary, for all of the Uary months that we're going to be doing it for. January, February, Maruary, Mayuary, all of that kind of stuff. But that's it for tonight for DOScider. Thank you all for being here. And don't go away, because I have something special after